Hi gang, I'm back. And I got a new camera display. Woohoo! So yeah. This is gonna be like a different video because I'll be ranking all the different dinosaurs that I have in my collection. Like, for example, like the best conditioned one, the worst conditioned one, my favorite one, like the one that's like very rare in my collection, and like so much more that's ranked. So I'm gonna do all of them. But I'm just gonna do like, the important ones. So yeah. It's like each category has like one dinosaur in it. So yeah. Or prehistoric creature. Depending on it. So yeah, let's get on with the video. Now, let's start with my biggest dinosaur in my collection, which is of course this big, huge dinosaur. This is Tane. He is that's T-A-N-E, and he is a Titanosaurus. Now, okay, so the reason why he's my biggest dinosaur is because like there's no place in my shelves that can actually fit him. So as you can see here, there's like no space to keep him at all because of his long ass tail. And like there's like different stuff here and there as well. The only possible chance to keep him is like up there where the reimagined figures are. But unfortunately, the shelf is not that wide enough to keep him in all fours. So this is how massive he is. All the way from the head to the end of the tail. And he's so long itself that the tail actually is designed to bend in some sort of way, where he has not one, not two, but 3 points of articulation in the tail, which there's a ball joint here and 2 swivels at the end of the tail, making it entirely impossible to keep this guy anywhere. The only other dinosaur that I can imagine this big, or even bigger, is possibly the Dreadnoughtus from Jurassic World Dominion. Now, it can be such of a stretch that this thing is possibly the biggest dinosaur that Mattel has ever created, which I'm sure I think he is, because when I looked at some comparisons to the Dreadnoughtus figure to this guy, I feel like if they were to sculpt the tail a little bit longer, then of course this guy would be the largest Mattel figure that has ever been made. And fun fact, actually, here's some dinosaur facts about Titanosaurus. Titanosaurus is possibly one of the largest dinosaurs to have ever walked the earth, along with Argentinosaurus, Dreadnoughtus, or Patagotitan. This guy, however, was seen in the movie Jurassic World Rebirth, where Henry Loomis and Zora Bennett were all looking at the Titanosaurus in the tall grass. And the way that they made the scene very beautifully with these, I immediately cried. But this isn't what the real Titanosaurus looked like. As you may have guessed, that this guy was really huge in the movie. And the official charts say that it's just around 11 tons, when the human is just this size. There's no way anybody would think that this guy was 11 tons. No way. It will possibly reach around 130 tons, as some sources have been said. With this guy being the biggest of my Mattel species, with an opening jaw and neck articulation on both sides, with leg articulation and tail articulation, I just wish that they had created a little bit movement on the head, making this my biggest Mattel dinosaur to date. Alright, now for the smallest figures that I have in my collection are none other than these guys. So, if you notice that this is a velociraptor, and this is not even a dinosaur, but an early reptile from the Permian period called Lystrosaurus. So these are practically my smallest figures to ever date in my mini collection, as such that Mattel has made the little guys to fit in with actually another bigger minifigure with them. They normally come in like little boxes that would be fitting for 2 dinosaurs inside. One smaller one and like another one that's like slightly bigger. For comparison, here's a little Carnotaurus figure that comes exactly in the same set as these minifigures. They're all the same because apparently they have little peg holes where you can keep them in like play sets or whatever. And they've started doing like these sizes, like these different sizes at the start of the Dominion tour. Oh, shit. Okay, as I was saying, like, these guys come in like boxes of 2 dinosaurs, with one being the bigger one and the other one being a smaller one. But the bigger ones actually don't count as they are not really my smallest figures. It's practically the little guys who are around this size, which is around as big as my thumb. So if you can't tell, here's a little fact about Velociraptor. They actually do not look how they're supposed to look like in real life, as they are much more smaller as compared to the Jurassic Park versions. As you can see, this one I think is based on the Tiger Raptor from The Lost World, but due to paint quality and the fact that the figure is so damn small, I don't think they have the ability to actually paint all the way down, making the stripes only on the top. However, Velociraptor had more feathers around everywhere, except for the head. And they didn't actually hunt in packs like how the movies have shown, as they are more solitude looking guys. However, there are bigger species of raptors like Utah Raptor and Dakota Raptor that has used to hunt in packs, including Deinonychus, which was what the Jurassic Park Velociraptor was based on more, instead of the tiny Velociraptor. Now, Lystrosaurus here is actually my smallest figure yet to date, as of course, this guy is not even a dinosaur at all, but a completely different species of reptile that lived in the Permian period way before dinosaurs even existed. And these guys were around the herbivore bunch, where they would just munch on leaves and little ferns that were growing on the ground. And of course, in real life, this guy would have been around the size, as you compare this my thumb to a human, this is how big they would grow. So they're still kind of small. They're around the size of modern day dogs. So yeah, this is officially my smallest Mattel figure that has ever been dated. Now let's get on with my first ever Jurassic World figure that I've collected since 8 years ago. I was 10 and now I'm 18. So I've been collecting Jurassic World dinosaurs since 8 years. And this is my first ever figure that I've ever collected. The one that started it all is the one and only Stegosaurus from Fallen Kingdom. So this Fallen Kingdom Stegosaurus is actually my first ever Mattel figure that I've ever gotten in my collection. As you can see, of course, by the details on her with her wear and tear, that she's been with me from the start. Leafy joke. Wait, no, Leifei joke. Sorry, Leifei fans. But either way, she is my first ever dinosaur that I've ever collected. You know, and when then when I ever heard that Mattel took the license of these Jurassic World figures since Fallen Kingdom showed up, I really wanted to collect all of them, especially that Action Attack Carnotaurus. But unfortunately, it sold out really fast here in Malaysia because a lot of people were like really interested with these dinosaurs. And she is my first ever one to be collected because, of course, Stegosaurus is one of my favorite herbivores, not only in the Jurassic franchise but also in real life. So if you can see here that she's got some posability on her neck, her arms, her legs, and of course she did have, because back in the day the actions used to be so simple where you press the button and then they start to move, which is what I found really interesting, that you can actually have articulation on these dinosaurs and they would actually move. But you can see the proof of how long she's been with me by looking at the fact that the button does not work anymore and that she can just move her tail however she wants. But here's some fun facts about Stegosaurus. Stegosaurus, of course, lived in the Jurassic period, which was at the time when the dinosaurs were starting to rise up into these big, massive creatures. So, of course, these were the guys who were a bit on the Allosaurus' diet, and somewhat of a Ceratosaurus' diet too, or a Torvosaurus, it depends. But you can see that their heads are so small, and that myth thinking that they're stupid and that their brain is the size of a walnut and they have another brain in their hip region is completely false. Yes, Stegosaurus may not be the brightest animal, but that doesn't mean it's automatically stupid. However, it does have its herbivore instincts of where it needs to eat, drink, or need to fight with these huge thagomizers on the back, which is what made Stegosaurus really famous, other than these beautiful plates on their backs. And of course, they are, if not one of the strongest herbivores in the Jurassic franchise, along with Therizinosaurus and of course the Titanosaurus due to their long tails. So yeah, this is my favorite, my first ever Mattel figure that I've ever collected. Alright, so we've covered my first ever Mattel figure that I've collected. This is my most recent figure that I've collected. I think, yeah, it was from the last video. Of course, the gigantic Thrasher's Purosaurus. Now, if you can see here, obviously he's not a crocodile, not a dinosaur, but actually a crocodile.
Flashback.
In Mexico.
Dude,
Mexico?
my name is Australia.
Idiot.
No, my name is Australia. You know
yeah.
why?
Your name is-
You know why? I found a crocodile.
He's sideways. He's clearly Venezuelan.
So, my recent figure was of course this massive Purosaurus, which to everyone thinking, no, it's not a dinosaur, but it's a type of massive species of crocodile that lived during the time of dinosaurs around Brazil and Venezuela. So of course, the action features a side-to-side attack where you move the tail side to side and it creates a chomping action. And when you twist the tail, the front legs get to move along with the head twisting itself, making this actually one of my favorite figures to come out from the Jurassic World Rebirth line. As I have heard that when they were making the toys, I heard that there's a giant crocodile being sold soon when they were announcing that the toys were being made. So I was like, oh my god, I really need to get the crocodile. And look where I'm at, I finally got it. So this massive Purosaurus has like a big old snout like that of like Florida's gators. And then they start having these big spikes like that with over-exaggerated tail spikes at the end, making this one of the most unique looking crocodiles that Mattel has ever made. So yeah, this is basically my recent Jurassic World figure. Okay, so there's like, for me, right, when it comes to like really good conditioned figures, there's actually a lot of them. But I would say the ones who are the most well-conditioned ones are like the very small figures like these Strike Attack figures, where they would probably be around this size and they would range around the 50 ringgit to 70 ringgit range. Like for example, this Caprasuchus. So like for example, these Strike Attack figures, they would normally come in like little boxes that would like, they would be like the very small species, like for example this Caprasuchus, where if you push it down, it will open its mouth to create a chomping action. So these little guys, they can range around the 70 ringgit range, while for example like the basic figures like this Proceratosaurus, they have the ability to just either open their mouths, move their necks, unfortunately this one doesn't. They just move the arms and the legs, and then the tail can just spin around. For me, I just feel like the Proceratosaurus' tail is really short, so yeah. So basically the basic figures can range around 50 ringgit, while the ones that are like almost the same size but can do an action are around the 70 ringgit range, because apparently with more action comes a little bit more budget on the price. So I could say that these guys, like the ones who range around this size, they are actually the most species that I've kept in best conditions. The ones who are larger can either be good conditioned or like somewhat okay conditioned. So yeah. Okay, I hope all of you agree with me, or I might be the only one. For my strangest figure, or the one that gives me a little bit of like the creeps, it is of course this guy, this Distortus Rex, or big boy here. So yeah. So I can say that he is my strangest because like no other dinosaur just looks like him. So the Distortus Rex is basically one of my most, if not the most strangest figure or species of dinosaur in the Jurassic World franchise, that Mattel even had the idea of making another one this year with of course more accurate colors, but I think this one is somewhat okay. The thing is the painting needs to go all the way down to the tail, and there need to be more mud on like the feet, where the hands already have that idea. So of course, there's a button on the end of the tail where if you press it, the head would move and then it would do this shaky thing. Along with the tiny little arms that will shake like as if he's got saggy boobs or whatever. And of course, there's a little joint here on the arm, except for this one, where his hand is more into a grasping mode. So the reason why is because if you turn the tail, he will literally lift himself up and just swipe at any other dinosaur that he come across. Like for example, if you look at it this way, you swing the tail and he just... and then he just... I really am terrified of that shaky thing. So I can say that this thing is, if not my most strangest or the one that gives me the most creepy vibes. It's like that uncle who's like very inappropriate at like family reunions. So yeah, I call it Dick Rex. Anyways, yeah, this is my most strangest Jurassic World figure that I have. Oh my god! And now for my most expensive dinosaurs in my collection, which is of course Tane the Titanosaurus, but also there's another figure that costs exactly the same price as him, which is 450 ringgit, which is the one and only Giganotosaurus, but not just any other Giganotosaurus. It is none other than the one and only super colossal Giganotosaurus from Jurassic World Dominion. So this guy used to be my biggest dinosaur that I ever had in my collection. And I got him at 2022's Christmas as a gift from my dad, where I was like so in love with this thing that I really liked it. But I didn't love him as much as I did with Toro here, but I loved him either way. And I brought him around at some points at Christmas as well, because he's like really cool and like a lot of kids managed to see him and it's like, wow, that's a big dinosaur. So yeah, so with these two being called super colossals, it's where you get to keep mini dinosaurs inside the mouth and put them all the way into the body where there's a hidden hatchet in their stomachs, where you can see clearly here underneath the Giga. You can see that there's a little hatchet here where you can open up the body to take out whatever you fed it through. And this guy, along with my giant Titanosaurus, is by far the most expensive dinosaurs in my collection, with just around 450 ringgit. And of course, finally, we've made it to the last ranked one, which is my favorite Mattel figure. It may not be the perfect, or it may not be the best, or the biggest, but it is definitely part of my heart, which is along with my childhood history. It's none other than the Charge and Chomp Carnotaurus from 2026, which is this year's Jurassic World Survival line, where they would have a trend of like their dinosaurs being a bit mutated following from the movie Rebirth, with them being a little bit more exaggerated designs and striking colors. But this Carnotaurus reminds me of another one that came out a long time ago. So you see, this Carnotaurus is of course notably quite popular in the roster for having these massive horns that are like bull-like, and of course the spikes and osteoderms are actually really more exaggerated and punk-like, which reminded me of a different Carnotaurus from a long time ago, none other being the Disney's dinosaur Carnotaurus. Of course, this guy has some striking resemblance towards the creature itself that came from the movie, and that put a strike of fear into many hearts. But for me, I really loved the Carnotaurus' design. And for the first time ever, Jurassic World made their own design for this Carnotaurus with the mutated line. And of course, the action for this guy is that if you press this button here while holding onto the tail, it creates a running animation along with head-butting horns and jaw-chomping action, where if you press it long enough, it gets to run in this sort of like cycling mode, so you can just put it and go like. So yeah, this is by far one of my favorite, if not my most favorite Mattel figure to ever come out yet. And of course, I am waiting for another Mattel Carnotaurus figure, as of course all of them are my favorites, but this one is of course on the top, with the second one being the freaking Hammond Collection Carnotaurus. Now I know that one used to be my favorite one, but in a previous video. However, now with this new Carnotaurus and the likings of me, you know, going for my gothic style and everything, it's because of this guy with this striking colors. It makes me feel like I want to get into goth styles recently. So yeah, this is why this Carnotaurus is my favorite figure out of every Mattel dinosaur ever. Oh gang, there it is, all the Mattel figures that I've ranked, from the best one to the biggest, the smallest, the most expensive, and everything. So be aware that I'm still collecting these guys, so there's gonna be a lot more dinosaurs and a new wave of survival figures too. I am definitely gonna get that Giganotosaurus. So yeah, I guess that's everything. So if you like this video, leave a like and comment what you think about what your favorite figures are. I would love to hear your opinions on which Jurassic World figure you guys really love. So until then, I will see y'all in a new video next. Bye-bye. Take care. Whoa, I think I farted and a poopy almost slipped out. Watch me dance.
Okay, say